Okay, let's think about this. How does a place, a top global travel spot get hit so hard, industry basically collapses, and then not just recover, but actually like, boom, become even stronger? Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, the incredible post-pandemic real estate recovery on the island of Phuket. And remember, it's Phuket, Phuket, pronounced Phuket.
Yeah, our whole chat today is really centered around this fantastic article, Post-Pandemic Phuket, Real Estate's Remarkable Recovery. It really tells a story.
It does. And what makes this source so valuable, I think, is where it comes from. Ocean Worldwide, they're a luxury real estate agency actually based right there in Phuket, and they've been there since 2004. So deep roots.
Wow, since 2004.
Yeah. And the director, Sandra O'Neill, she's personally helped, literally thousands of families and investors over, nearly 20 years now. And their focus is very specific. High-end residential properties, luxury stuff, in Phuket, and also Koh Samui. So they know this niche inside out. Got it. So grounded in real on-the-ground experience. Okay,
Yeah.
So the mission for you listening, we want to pull out the key insights from Ocean Worldwide's perspective, give you a real sense of why Phuket's property market isn't just back, but arguably better than ever, and what that might mean for you, whether you're just curious about these global shifts or maybe looking for that, aha moment. So let's start maybe at the beginning, the foundation. Why was Phuket always such a hot spot for property long before COVID changed everything?
Right. Well, it's always been more than just a pretty picture for a holiday. Phuket offers this really compelling lifestyle. That's what pulls people in long term. The natural beauty is obviously the hook. You've got beaches for every taste, lively patong, quiet kata, everything in between. But it's not just coast. You go inland, there's lush jungles, hills, and it's a great base to explore other islands like Phi Phi is nearby, Phang Nga Bay. It's a whole environment.
Sure, the natural beauty is undeniable.
But here's a crucial part, I think, for resilience: the amenities. It's not just a tourist strip. It's incredibly well equipped for living. We're talking 10 international schools, multiple high-standard hospitals, big modern shopping centers, amazing food scene, really diverse.
10 international schools, that's significant.
It is. It underpins a really strong expat community. People can actually live there comfortably long-term. Add to that marinas, yacht ports, water parks, 5 of them, 9 golf courses. This infrastructure, built out over years, wasn't just for tourists. It was for residents. And that depth, I think, explains a lot about why it could bounce back relatively fast.
That makes sense. A really complete picture. Any big future plans that reinforce this long-term view?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're not standing still. There are major infrastructure projects planned that really signal confidence. The big one is the talk of a second international airport over in Tak Kwathon Phang Nga province. It'd be connected by the Saracen Bridge.
A second airport?
Yeah. Think about what that does for accessibility. More direct flights, easier access for tourists, for investors. It's a strategic move for sustained growth. Shows real long-term thinking.
Okay, that paints a strong picture of the underlying appeal. So let's step back to just before the pandemic. What did that market look like? Was it buzzing?
Buzzing is a good word. It was absolutely thriving. Tourism was booming. And Phuket was cemented as this top-tier spot for lifestyle, yes, but also serious investment. You could feel the energy. New developments, often really luxurious ones, were popping up everywhere, and the money was flowing in internationally.
Who was investing mainly?
A real mix. Lots of interest from China, from Russia, various Western countries too. People weren't just looking for holidays. They saw real potential for returns. Or they were buying that dream retirement spot. And the market offered variety, which helped. It wasn't just one type of property. You had these incredible, huge beachfront villas, sure, but also really sleek luxury condos.
Yeah.
So it catered to different budgets, different tastes. That broad appeal made the market really dynamic. It was definitely expanding rapidly back then. A seller's market for sure.
Right. High energy, lots of demand, and then bang, COVID hits. How quickly did things change? How big was the impact?
Oh, it was like flipping a switch. Immediate and frankly brutal. International travel just stopped.
Evaporated.
Completely. And for an island like Phuket, so dependent on that global flow, it was devastating. Borders closed. Tourists vanished overnight. And the knock-on effect on property was huge. Sales stalled. Rental income dried up. Those foreign investors we just talked about, they couldn't even visit, let alone buy. So investor confidence just tanked. Rental income plummeted. Lots of new projects put on hold, some canceled entirely. It was rough. Plus, you had supply chain issues hitting construction, workers couldn't travel easily, so existing projects faced major delays. Developers got really hesitant, understandably. Many had to offer big discounts, incentives, anything to shift stock. It was just a period of deep uncertainty, a real wait-and-see moment, and very stressful for everyone involved. The whole island sort of held its breath.
Wow. Hard to imagine that complete standstill. So from that point, how did things start to turn around? What was the spark? Was there a key government move?
Absolutely. The turning point, the real game changer, was the Phuket Sandbox initiative.
Ah, yes. I remember hearing about that.
It was incredibly bold. Basically, it allowed vaccinated international travelers to come to Phuket without a strict quarantine. They reopened Phuket first, before the rest of Thailand.
Yeah.
This wasn't just about getting tourists back. It was about restarting the entire economic engine, very much including real estate. It showed real government agility, a commitment to getting Phuket back on its feet. It was quite innovative, actually.
A calculated risk, sounds like.
It was. And beyond the sandbox, the Thai government rolled out other measures, too. Economic incentives aimed right at the property market. Things like tax breaks, reducing transfer fees, making it cheaper and more attractive to buy for both Thais and foreigners.
Okay.
And there was broader support, too, marketing campaigns to rebuild the island's image internationally, financial help for struggling businesses. It was definitely a multi-layered strategy, trying to build back confidence piece by piece.
Okay, so that sets the stage for the comeback. How did that recovery actually play out? Was it fast, strong?
Remarkably so, actually. Phuket was one of the first places globally, really, to show a significant rebound after that initial shock. As travel rules started easing up worldwide, the island quickly regained its magnetism. It felt like pent-up demand being released. And one thing that really helped confidence, I think, was Phuket consistently appearing on those lists of the world's top 100 city destinations. It shares that with Bangkok, Pattaya.
Right, the global recognition matters.
It absolutely does. It reassures people, investors, that this isn't some fringe location. Its fundamental appeal is strong and recognized. It wasn't just a temporary recovery. It felt sustainable.
And what about the actual market activity, construction, prices?
That picked up incredibly fast. With tourists returning, demand for property surged. Those projects that had been paused, many restarted quickly. It was like the engine sputtering back to life, then really revving up. And prices followed. They stabilized first, which was a relief, but then they actually started to increase, modestly but steadily, in quite a few segments.
So actual price growth, even after that huge hit.
Exactly. Which really speaks to the market's resilience, its adaptability. You saw more tourists, construction cranes back in the sky, and property prices firming up and rising. It was a clear comeback story.
Okay, so fast forward to now. For you listening, maybe thinking about investment, what are the opportunities looking like in this recovered, maybe even stronger Phuket market?
Well, the landscape is pretty diverse now. You still got the classic draws, those amazing beachfront villas, the luxury condos, high demand there. But we're also seeing real growth in commercial property, retail spaces, offices, as the general economy picks up steam. And hospitality, naturally hotels, resorts, but also lots of interest in short-term rentals.
That huge tourism revenue figure you mentioned earlier probably feeds into that.
Absolutely. That 400 billion baht figure, that directly fuels demand for everything from restaurants to hotel rooms to rental apartments. And demand for residential is strong, especially places with good views or near the beach. People buying for themselves or for rental income. And here's a key point for listeners outside Thailand. Thai law allows foreigners to own condominiums outright, freehold. That's a big plus.
Ah, okay. That simplifies things compared to land ownership.
It does. And that, combined with people maybe looking for better value compared to inflated markets elsewhere, has really driven a surge in foreign buying. We're seeing a lot of buyers from China, Russia, the U.S. is growing too.
Interesting mix. And what's happening with overall property values and the types of projects being built?
Well, you've got tourism roaring back, strong foreign investment, and it's an island. There's only so much land.
Right. Limited supply.
Exactly. So that combination is putting definite upward pressure on prices, which, from an investment perspective, is attractive because people anticipate further gains. We've seen average revenues for apartments jump up good to rental yields. Condo sales in the first half of 2024 were really strong. It shows the market has legs.
And the type of development?
It's leaning heavily towards luxury. High-end vacation homes are a huge slice of the active projects right now, especially in sought-after areas like Salong. Foreign investors are really snapping these up, either for their own use, that exclusive escape, or as premium rental properties. It's not just recovery. It's a push towards the high end.
Okay, so a dynamic market, lots of opportunity, particularly at the luxury end. For you listening, if you're seriously considering this, what are the absolute must-dos, the crucial steps?
Number one, without a doubt, understand the rules.
Hmm.
The legal side, the visa side. Thai property law has its own specific points, especially the difference between owning a condo versus land. And you need to know the visa situation for staying long-term or managing your investment. Honestly, my top advice here: get a good local property lawyer. It's worth every penny.
Don't try to navigate that alone.
Please don't.
Right.
Secondly, due diligence. Really, really thorough due diligence. Don't get swept up in the excitement. Get a professional property inspection done. Check the title deeds meticulously. Make sure they're clean, no disputes. Understand the local zoning, any restrictions. Do your homework before you commit.
Makes sense. Avoid nasty surprises later.
Precisely. And thirdly, keep your finger on the pulse of the market. It's moving. Watch the price trends in different areas, different property types. See what's popular, where demand is heading. The article gives a useful snapshot, actually. It projects like a 5% average price increase from 2024 to 2025. Gives examples like Patong condos going from 5 million Thai baht to 5.25 million. Kamala villas from 12 million to 12.6 million baht. Bang Tao townhouses, maybe 7.5 million up to around 7.875 million. It's that kind of specific tracking that helps you make informed choices.
Good examples. Okay, looking ahead then. What's the general feeling from the experts on the ground? What's the future outlook?
Overwhelmingly positive, actually. The optimism is pretty strong. And it's based on solid ground, that enduring appeal we talked about, plus the demand that just keeps growing, locally and internationally. As travel gets even easier, more flight routes open up, that's only going to fuel things further, especially for rentals. And it just makes foreign investment simpler.
And any particular trends shaping the future?
Yeah, definitely move towards sustainable and luxury developments. It's becoming more mainstream, especially at the higher end. I think eco-friendly design, smart home tech, really exclusive amenities. That's where a lot of the opportunity lies now for developers and investors. It's about creating high-value experiences, attracting maybe longer-term stays, which could make the market even more stable than it was before the pandemic, moving beyond just pure volume tourism. So yeah, the core message is Phuket's property market showed amazing resilience. It bounced back strong. Its appeal is definitely proven.
And this deep dive, really drawing on those insights from Ocean Worldwide, who live and breathe this market, it really highlights that capacity for growth, especially in luxury real estate there. So here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on. Given Phuket's incredible comeback story, what does this tell us more broadly about how adaptable luxury markets can be, and maybe how these big global shocks can sometimes unexpectedly spotlight these kinds of paradise locations for living and for smart investing? Something to think about.